about a month, actually. Things didn't go so well last time.
How do you mean?
Let's just say we didn't part on the best of terms. He made it very clear that he didn't want to speak to me again.
You have the mutton chops. And you work on a ship.
Were you aware that Ronan was murdered?
What? No, when? What happened?
He was shot outside a tavern in Chumley 4 nights ago.
Chumley? What was he doing there?
I was hoping perhaps you could tell me.
I honestly don't know. Ronan hardly went out, and he especially never crossed the river.
Why was that?
I think he was just too scared of the world to go out and see it for himself. He was happy enough reading about it in his books or collecting things I brought him back from my travels. Honestly, that's what I liked most about him. He was just an average, boring man. It was just the sort of balance I needed in my life.
That's pretty much the exact same reason I always enjoyed working with you, Miles.
I think the mutton chops are a misdirection. Because he was genuinely surprised about the murder.
You and Ronan had a special relationship, didn't you?
Mr. Fordham, we're in an underground club. You don't have to tap dance around it. Yes, Ronan and I were a couple. At least up until last month.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
We had a misunderstanding. Ronan thought I had been seeing someone else. He was extremely jealous.
Oh.
I tried to explain that he had it all wrong, but he wouldn't hear me out. I was going to give him some time to cool off, but, well, that's not going to happen now, is it?
No,
If it's
he's
any
dead.
consolation, I found a letter you wrote him, which he still kept in his desk.
Damn. Thank you for telling me that.
Name.
Where does the name Jimbo come from?
It's just a nickname. My real name is James Bowcroft.
And what is it you do?
I'm a sailor. I thought you detective types were supposed to be extra observant. Shouldn't you be able to tell me what my occupation was just by looking at my fingernails?
No,
or
that's
something?
Sherlock Holmes.
Sorry to disappoint. Perceptiveness is important in my line of work, but I'm also just a man.
I think perhaps Jimbo has been reading too many of those detective stories in Brentwood.
Yeah. What about the election?
Do you have any opinions about the recent election?
Not really. I'm usually way at sea, so I don't keep up with politics. The sea's got her own laws.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't vote, so it's really none of my concern.
But you're still affected by the decisions the Prime Minister makes.
Not very fair, is it, Mr. Fordham?
No, but hopefully Mr. Leroy will stand up for equal rights.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't think Jimbo is our man. Let's just go. It's a misdirection because of the mutton chops, you see? The Crimson Cat, the taxidermy thing. Okay, let's go talk to this guy because he might be able to get us some tools. Rowdy
This is what it's
Street.
come to, eh? Braving the stench of human waste in hopes of finding a lead? Just
Yes.
make sure you stay away from the edge.
Sewer worker.
Begging your pardon, sir.
What? Who are you? What are you doing down here?
My name's Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a sewer worker by the name of Cormac.
We needn't look no further. But what is this about?
I just have a few questions for you.
All right. Cormac will answer them, but don't dally for too long. It can be dangerous down here for anyone who's not trained as Cormac is.
Yes. Also, Cormac speaks in the third person.
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Cormac knows few men. People don't much like talking to a man who spends his days in the sewers. Can't really blame him for it. It's hard to get the stink off, so why bother even trying?
You didn't answer my question, though. Do you know Ronan Lespay or not?
Could you describe him? Cormac's got a better memory for faces than for names.
Okay.
I have his portrait. Here, have a look.
Ah, yes. Cormac saw this fellow recently.
On election night?
That's right. He come into the bar, voted, went out. Looked drunk to Cormac, but then everyone at that place usually is.
Indeed. So you see, it's a bar where you can vote, drink, and, at the same place.
Do you frequent a pub called the Silent Raven?
Yes. The Raven is where Cormac goes to forget about the day's work. The barmaid, Nicole, she's a good sort. We likes talking about the ponies down at the track. Nikki loves her some racing. She gives Cormac drinks for cheap in exchange for odd jobs. Nice to have your own personal sewer man, I suppose. She's really the only one Cormac talks to. There's a few others Cormac sees often, but Cormac hasn't spoken with them.
Cripes. This guy goes on and on, doesn't he? To be fair, you were warned.
Yes. What about the murder?
Do you know anything about the murder that took place outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Murder? Ah, yes. The commotion out in the alleyway.
That's right. Did you see or hear anything?
It
No.
was a touch noisy that night, what with all the election stuff happening. But Cormac remembers the sound of the gun. One shot. And then shouting and hollering from the bar.
Yeah.
A few people run outside to look at what happened. But Cormac just stayed in his seat and finished his whiskey.
So you didn't see the man who was shot? Or who shot him?
Nah, keeps to himself, Cormac does. Makes life easier that way.
Could he be any more unhelpful? Actually, it's probably best not to find him.
What about you? What about Cormac? You know? Paint me a portrait of who Cormac is.
Is it difficult being a sewer worker?
Difficult? Nah, it's a dream. Especially since they introduced all these steam tech treatments and purification whatsits. The only thing Cormac's got to do is check the little dial never goes into the red on old Belinda.
Okay.
Belinda?
Aye, the purifier. She's a real special lady who's made Cormac's life so much brighter. Cormac makes sure to thank her each and every day.
Wonderful. We're talking to a lunatic.
Wasn't so easy a few years ago. Back then it was tapping on pipes all day
Tapping on pipes?
to make sure they was flowing fine and not blocked. Cormac would take his little hammer and tap, tap, tap on the pipes to make sure they was ringing fine. You can imagine what that was like. Tap, tap, tap. Ring, ring, ring. All day, up and down, over and over. The tapping stopped, but the ringing never left. Still hears it to this day, Cormac does.
That's weird.
Do you have any opinions regarding the election?
Cormac hears lots of things about Atwood, but he's the one what's got this new machinery put into the sewer system.
Okay.
There's still a job for Cormac, so all that talk about being replaced by machines is just talk, for now. But Leroy says he wants to give the workers their fair chance, so Cormac can't argue with that. What about you?
I think Leroy will be a good prime minister.
Bah, they's all the same in the end, one way or another. No point worrying, says old Cormac.
Old Cormac is a wise guy, you know? Storm drain.
Would you be able to remove the cover of a storm drain?
Yes, of course, sir. Cormac's got the right tool for the job.
Nice.
Just a few twists from old Mary here, and any drain will open up like a Christmas rose.
Excellent. Would you be able to open the storm drain outside the Silent Raven?
Suppose so, yes. But Cormac ain't allowed to just open up drains as he sees fit. What do you want this drain open for?
There's a vital piece of evidence at the bottom of the drain.
I believe there's a vital piece of evidence at the bottom of the drain.
You don't say.
Yes.
It's quite true. It may even help me solve a murder.
Well then, in that case, Cormac will get the drain open for
Thank you, Cormac.
Come on, there's not a moment to lose. This it then?
Yeah,
That's
that
the one.
Right, won't be a moment.
Thank you, Cormac.
There we are.
Thank you for your help, Cormac.
Not a problem. Now, if you don't mind, Cormac's just going to pop inside for a quick pint.
Okay, Cormac, yeah, you drink. Knock yourself down.
Detective work is a dirty job, but someone has to do it. Don't forget to roll up your sleeve.
I really hope there's something down there. Ugh. This is almost as bad as the time I had to search for that stolen necklace in a pile of horse manure.
I'm really glad I didn't draw the short straw in that case.
Ah, we got it.
Well, how about that?
A shame the police managed to overlook this.
We got the thing. Anything else?
Nothing else down there but dirty water.
Okay. Let me check here. We get the pistol. Muck covered pistol found at the bottom of a storm drain outside the Silent Raven. Okay. Speak to Dr. Edwards about the murder. Find Darius at the open dam in Chumley. Good. I'm just gonna quickly save. Let's see over here. Cormac must be talking to the lady. Yeah, you see? Cormac is there.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
Strange men.
I was given the physical description of a man, and I was wondering if you might recognize him if I told you.
Perhaps. Go on, then.
He's tall, of strong build, with a beard or mutton chops, dressing all in black and possibly wearing a cap.
Bit vague, wouldn't you say? That covers about half our clientele.
Yes.
I was afraid that might be the case. Did you notice anyone of that description here on election night?
No. Can't say I did, sorry.
I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Cormac?
Moment of your time, if I may.
Right, I'll make it quick.
Strange men.
I wonder if you could tell me if you saw a man of this description at the Silent Raven on election night. He's tall, of strong build, with a beard or mutton chops, dressing all in black and possibly wearing a cap.
Oh, hi. Cormac remembers seeing a fella like that.
What was he doing?
Kept going in and out of the bar. When he was inside, he stood near the voting booths, hardly moving a muscle.
And when he was outside?
That, Cormac couldn't say.
Did you notice anything else about him?
Yes, Cormac noticed him come in and speak with Nicole, the barmaid, after the commotion outside.
Is that right? That's very interesting.
Interesting. There's
Thanks
some
for your time.
shenanigans.
I'll let you get back to your drink.
There's some shenanigans afoot. I'll quickly save.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
Strange men.
You know that description I gave you earlier? Of the tall man in black?
Yeah, what about it?
I spoke with Cormac, and he told me he saw you speaking with someone fitting that description shortly after the murder occurred.
And you believed him? Cormac's a good sort, but he's not exactly reliable.
I'd say he's twice as reliable as you are. Now tell me the truth, or I'll have you in as an accomplice to murder.
All right, relax.
Aha.
I don't know the man by name, but he came to me after the commotion outside and paid me a few crowns to keep my mouth shut about it. I didn't ask any more questions, and I wasn't about to refuse some extra cash. That was that, I swear.
That's not good enough. I need some way to find this man. Is there anything else you can tell me?
Well, I did notice he had a scar on his left cheek. Kind of looked like a shepherd's crook. But that's all, really.
I suppose that'll have to do.
Scar.
I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also had a scar the shape of a shepherd's crook on his left cheek. Didn't the other guy we have not talked to had a scar? Quickly save. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Let's go talk to the doctor. Before we go in the last place we have not checked. Because I'm pretty sure that's where the murderer is. Hello. Trying to talk to the doc.
Pardon me, Edwards.
Yes?
Pistol.
I found this pistol at the scene of the Lespay crime. Did you take a look and see if it was used to murder him?
It's all slimy. Where was it?
Sitting at the bottom of a storm drain.
Oh, I suppose that's not as exciting as finding it inside someone's intestines.
But
Did I ever tell you about that post-mortem, by the way?
no.
No, I certainly don't want to hear about it now. How long will it take you to analyze that pistol?
I should have something conclusive within the hour, if you don't mind waiting.
I'll wait.
No, it'll give me some time to gather my thoughts.
Right. I've concluded my analysis, and this gun was definitely used to shoot Mr. Lespay.
Nice.
The bullet I removed from his body is a perfect match.
Thank you, Edwards. That is extremely helpful.
There's one more thing. I cleaned off some of the muck and found the initials JB etched into the handle.
Interesting.
My expertise with guns is purely forensic, so I can't determine if this is the gun's maker or the initials of its owner. That's going to have to be your job.
Thank you, Edwards. Help is always appreciated.
JB?
I'll be going now, Edwards.
Take care, Fordham.
I think that was the name of the, Jimbo. This might have been a crime of passion. See the opium den. Okay, what do we have here?
Crisparkle Lane. Nothing crisp or sparkly about it.
Yeah.
I wonder how many layers of advertisements you'd have to cut through before getting to the wall.
A few. They're structural at this point,
I can't make heads or tails of it, but I'll bet you 10 crowns it doesn't say welcome.
Maybe.
Yes? What do you want?
I'm interested in riding the dragon.
I was told this was the place to come if I wanted to ride the dragon.
Oh. Well, why didn't you say so? Please, come in.
You see, we got that from the book. We got a rat dragon over there.
They're really dedicated to their theme in here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Poor horse. That fellow in the armor must have weighed a ton.
Yeah. What about this lady?
She's not gonna be much help right now. That's not to bother her.
Okay.
Fancy.
Yeah, fancy. So we just go over here?
At least they provide their clients with some measure of privacy.
Uh-huh.
Now I see why they call it riding the dragon.
That's Darius.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a man by the name of Darius.
Well, look no further. Welcome, friend. Sit. Join me.
I'll stand, if that's all right. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Questions are the path to enlightenment. Answers fly by as birds on the breeze.
Yes, they
What
do.
will a caged bird sing? That is the true question.
Wonderful. He's as high as a kite. This is gonna be worse than pulling teeth.
What about Ronan?
Are you familiar with a man named Ronan Lespay?
I know many men. Some old, some young, some rich, some poor. Some I know by name, some by face. But this man you speak of, this Ronan, he is unfamiliar to me.
I have a ferrotype. Do you recognize him?
Forgive me, but my eyes are blurry. I cannot make out his features.
Well, he's useless, isn't he? Too bad there's no way to snap him out of it, like there was with Dupre's kid.
What about the murder?
Do you know anything about the murder outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Murder? Was it a murder?
It was. A man was shot in cold blood.
That would explain the commotion, as well as the sound.
So you heard the gunshot?
I did. I thought it might have been one of the voting machines making the noise. But then there were shouts, and people began to run.
Did you see or hear anything before you heard the gunshot?
I seem to remember hearing a man shouting a name.
A name?
Yes. It sounded like Priscilla.
Priscilla?
Well, how about that? He's managed to be of some use after all. Assuming he's telling the truth, of course.
And does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Afraid not, young man.
Okay. The plot thickens.
What can you tell me about the Silent Raven?
Ah, the Raven. My home away from home.
I would have thought that was this place. Unless this one is just the home.
Do you have many friends there? People you speak with often?
Yes, friends. I call them friends anyway, but really, what is a friend?
What is a friend?
Someone who drinks with you?
Yes.
Someone who shares secrets with you?
Maybe.
Are those friends?
I don't know.
My father used to tell me that the only two friends you had were your mother and the crown in your pocket. Well, both of those are gone now. So what does that mean for me?
I don't know, sir. I'm just asking about people you speak to at the Raven.
The barmaid, Nicole, she gets mad at me sometimes when I break things. She's all right.
Yeah. Singing Tom.
Have you ever conversed with a patron called Singing Tom?
Singing Tom? You mean old Tom Puffin?
I'm not sure. I was just told he was called Singing Tom and was a regular at the Silent Raven.
That's the man. I see him in here all the time.
In here, not just at the Raven?
Tom is a child of the poppy, just as I am. He truly understands the world as it is.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Yes, he's the choirmaster at St. Denis Cathedral.
Nice.
That's where he spends his time when he's not here.
You mean to tell me we have to talk to another one of these loonies? Wonderful.
Yes. Sorry, Bill. What about yourself?
Do you often come to this establishment, Darius?
Oh, yes. This place is better than any doctor or hospital. It has exactly the cure I need.
Cure? For what?
I'm ill, sir. Just as you are. Just as we all are. Infected by a terrible disease known as life.
Speak for yourself.
But spend a few hours in here with the intoxicating nectar of the poppy, and you'll find nothing can defeat you.
What about the election?
So did you manage to get out of here and vote?
Please don't bother me with such trivial matters.
Trivial.
Why should I care who leads the government? As long as they don't outlaw places like this, they can do whatever they please.
Is this guy ignorant or just apathetic? Yeah, well, I don't know, and I don't care.
Exactly. You see? Strange man.
I was wondering if you could tell me whether you saw a certain man at the Raven on election night. He's tall, of strong build, with a beard or mutton chops, dressing all in black and possibly wearing a cap.
Lots of people like that go to the Raven. I see loads of them every night. But now that you mention it, I do remember someone like that. He was a strange one.
How so?
I remember one of the times he came in, he was adjusting his hat. I could have sworn when he took it off for just a moment, his hair was bright red.
How is that strange, exactly?
Because his beard was jet black. It was the oddest thing I'd seen. Well, it was the oddest thing I'd seen, until his beard slid halfway down his face.
I see.
Ah.
Thank you for the information.
Wonderful. This testimony is about as useful as a hole in the head.
It actually
Again,
is.
There might be something to it.
Fake beard.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, young man.
I think someone is
May
trying to
you find
incriminate
peace and happiness.
Jimbo, you know? Let me check a little bit here. Before Ronald was shot, someone shouted the name Priscilla. He also spoke to the barman after murder took place. That's the initials JB. What is this small gold key? Speak to Tom Puffin at St. Denis Cathedral. Okay.
She's not going to be much help right now. That's not to bother her.
Okay.
At least they provide their clients with some measure of privacy.
So, St. Denis Cathedral. Chest?
Now this is one intriguing chest. If only we could search it without arousing any suspicions.
Okay.
Prayer candles? People think lighting one of these is going to solve their problems. If only it were that easy. Also, what happens if they go out? Does that mean your prayer gets canceled? Shh! What? It's an important question.
Shut up, Bill.
The more I think about it, the more I want to test my theory about prayers being canceled if the candles go out.
Ah, Bill. This is weird. Before we do something weird there, let's
This
check.
angel looks like it would throw its
This.
lamp at you as soon as you turned your back on it. This looks like the nicer of the two angels.
Yes, nicer. Nothing there.
What a racket! I'm glad you're not a member of this church. Sitting through Sunday Mass would drive me insane.
I think we're going to have to, blow out all of these candles, talk to this guy, and we can check this.
I beg your pardon. Are you Tom Puffin?
I am. How may I help you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I wanted to ask you a few questions.
Questions? Have I done something wrong?
Yes.
No, Mr. Puffin.
I mean,
simply
no.
believe you may have some
maybe.
information that I need.
Very well, then.
Is your hair like red? I can really tell with this. I think it's not.
What were you doing on election night, Mr. Puffin?
Election night? That was ages ago, wasn't it?
It was 4 nights ago, to be precise.
Oh, you have to understand. I have trouble recalling what I ate for breakfast this morning, let alone what happened 4 nights ago.
Well, isn't that convenient?
Yeah.
Do try to remember, Mr. Puffin. It's quite important.
Well, I know I voted at my local polling place, the Silent Raven. And then, I'm not sure, actually.
Okay. There was a murder.
Do you know anything about the murder outside the Silent Raven?
Murder?
Yes. A man was shot. Did you see or hear anything?
I don't remember. I don't think so, no.
How long were you at the Raven that evening?
Not very long, I don't think. I went, voted, stayed for a drink, and then I left.
You recall what you did the rest of the evening?
Not specifically. I probably went home and went to bed, like I always do.
What about running?
Do you recognize the man in this photo?
Is that? No, never mind.
What is it?
Well, for a moment, I thought it was someone else, but I was clearly mistaken.
So you don't recognize this person, then?
Afraid not. Who is he?
His name is, or rather was, Ronan Lespay.
What? Is he dead?
He is. I'm trying to find out who killed him.
Well, I hope you find your man, Mr. Fordham.
There's something weird there. You recognized him.
Are you in the habit of using opium, Mr. Puffin?
What? Why would you think that?
I met your friend Darius. He told me you share a pastime.
Yes, share a pastime.
All right, yes. I do enjoy a visit to the opium den from time to time.
From time to time? More like morning, noon, and night.
Have you found the drug has had any adverse effects? Memory loss, for example.
I admit I'm not quite as quick as I used to be, but without it, I'm in constant pain.
Is that right?
I fell off a horse when I was 15, and ever since then, my back's not been right. The doctors haven't been able to help. Poppy is my only comfort. I wish there were another way.
It might be worth seeking a more professional opinion about the effects of opium.
Yeah. What about Priscilla?
Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Priscilla? What does that have to do with anything?
The name has come up in my investigation. Is it someone you're acquainted with?
No, it isn't. I don't know anyone by that name.
He certainly seemed concerned about her, though.
Yeah, that was the bullcrap. This guy is hiding stuff.
How did you become choir master of this church?
Oh, well, I studied music at the University of New Bretagne. Once I completed my studies, I began writing symphonies in hopes of securing a patron, but I had no luck. So I decided to focus on choral compositions. I sent a few pieces to the bishop, and he offered me the position.
And you enjoy it?
Oh, yes, sir, immensely. I'm able to continue composing songs for our choir, as well as teach music to our young members. I take my church duties very seriously.
What else do you do besides lead the choir?
Just a few things here and there, making sure the aisles and the pews are clean, tending to the prayer candles.
Prayer
and
candles.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. What about the election? But this guy is hiding something.
So, what do you think of the election results?
All right, the election. Who won?
Thank you.
Roy. He beat Atwood by a significant margin.
Oh, I suppose that's good. I think I may have voted for him, but I'm not sure.
I'll let you resume your practicing, Mr. Puffin.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Same. Same to you, sir. Okay, we're gonna save.
On the dark roads of Montana, there's a shadow in the dirt. The whisper of a mountaineer in a ragged flannel shirt. He walks the stony hillsides with his mandolin in hand, but you'll never see his his face around this